Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great Sunday. It was a great day over here. Had a bunch going on. Had football in the morning. Got a bunch of phone calls and text messages taken care of. That was great. And we tied our football game. Ugh, we should have won. But anyways, it is what it is. We had a really good day, great time. And then afterwards, we had Springville. So I came home, took care of what I needed to do here, and then I bounced on out to Springville. And we had a great turnout actually yesterday. I was actually really surprised. I wasn't sure. So thank you to everybody that showed up out there yesterday. Guys, if you've messaged me over the past couple of days or the weekend, I apologize. If you guys have seen, you haven't really had a chance to get on Facebook, not because I'm trying to avoid it, but just time constraints. There's just a lot going on with regard to all the different groups we're a part of, Breathe Free New York and Watchmen and Freedom Fighters, and the elections are happening, Rally WNY, Constitutional Coalition, FreeNewYorkState.com. So all those things are just going on, kind of making sure that I'm taking care of everybody that I can, in those areas. So I'm kind of going through my messenger, and anything that seems very pressing or a top priority, I'm responding. But so just be a little bit patient with me. If you've like written anything on my Facebook wall, I haven't even been on there to be able to do that. So I'm trying to make sure I carve out some time. Hopefully it's going to be at night. Mornings have been pretty busy. So just be a little bit patient with me. Guys, I really appreciate everybody that showed up in Springville yesterday. There were no law enforcement. Law enforcement wasn't there. That was fine. They didn't need to be. That was great. Erie County Sheriff went by and beeping his horn, raising his hand, and we'd probably get about one out of every two people, which is kind of a surprise out in Springville, but I think you probably get people who are even more conservative than what we are, if you could believe that. You probably don't want to beep the horn for one reason or another. You don't get many leftists out there, but what ended up happening, there was a family of four. It was Kevin, Jenny, Lucas, and Sophie. They joined us yesterday, and it was awesome. You just see them walking across the parking lot with their flag. And they're like, we were sitting at our fire at our house, and we heard you guys going by. We're like, we wanted to come join. Just another great story of how this touches people. And that's the beautiful thing. Like, I think a lot of the times we take a look at, hey, we need really, really big numbers. Like, oh, we have to have all of these people involved. But I think we have to remember it's always, always, always about the individual. It's always about that person. And now being one person, it's very difficult to, make everybody feel welcome and warm. But guys, it's very, very, very important to do that. Make sure that you go up and, shake their hand or give them a hug. People that you've seen before, brand new people. I tell you guys this all the time. The most important thing about somebody showing up to a rally or a parade or a protest is to make sure that we befriend them. Make sure that we get them a part of the groups and the organizations that we're a part of, so that they know what's going on and then they can contribute. Because people they're suffering at home. They're sad. They don't know what to do. They don't think they think their country's going away. They hear that on the news all the time. They just see, sadness and despair and every day, and they're listening to this and they're listening to that. And it's just pounded inside their brain. So when we do have those people that do join us at these parades or any rally that we do or protest, please make sure you go up and shake their hand and say hi and get their information. If we do it a dozen times between all of us doing it, who cares? Like, really, who cares? They're not going to mind. They're not going to care. They're just going to be like, oh my God, these people are amazing. And even if they are people who are polar opposites of us, even if they are people that are members of Antifa, or domestic terror group like Surge or Western New York Liberation Collective or One Society or local Black Lives Matter, even if they are, may reach out to them and say, hey, sorry we have polar opposites. Most of the people that are there, even a part of Antifa and Black Lives Matter and Surge and Western New York Liberation Collective, they're good people. They're just misguided, misinformed. They feel like it's their right to tell everybody else that they're wrong. But their worldview is so narrow and it's so thin that they haven't gone outside of their world to see that, well, people out in Springville, they're not racist. They're good people. People in West Seneca, they're not racists. They're good people. They just don't know. They haven't been exposed to any of this stuff. They've lived in a sheltered world. We tease and we mock about them living in their basements, but guys, a lot of the times that's true. And that's not good, because nobody deserves to be in the basement. Now, leadership, I don't believe that leadership of Antifa or Surge or any of these other domestic terror groups that are committing hate crimes right now and committing acts of terror and keeping our neighborhoods under siege and using the National Guild of Lawyers against local law enforcement and using them in conjunction with, town supervisors, mayors, town council people to let them know, do not even give our people an appearance ticket, because if you do, we're going to come after you. We're going to make you look very bad. Then that's what the National Guild of Lawyers do. We have to attack the National Guild of Lawyers. We have to sue them. We have to sue them into non-existence. That's what we have to do. As the National Guild of Lawyers is a 30,000 lawyer strong group that goes throughout the country, and their mission for 100 years has been to slowly convert America through the legal means and through threatening and intimidation and chaos, creating all of this, everything that's happening, turn it into a communistic country. And you could go look at the National Guild of Lawyers, guys. Don't believe me. Go onto the website, take a look and see what their mission statement is and has been. It hasn't changed. That's who we need to attack. Leadership that is local here, that are fostering and incentivizing, suggesting, recommending, outright advocating, supporting, condoning the acts of terror, the acts of violence, the acts of occupation, the crimes, the hate crimes in our neighborhoods and communities. We need to go after them. We know who they are now. We've got them all, every single one of them. We have our intelligence collection groups, and they're very good. They're very good. They've collected all the information on all of these people. And we know who they are. We know where they live. We know which towns they're in. We know who the agitators are. We know who the aggressors are. We know who the community organizers are. We know. And we have all their structure in place at this point. We have all their posts that we show how violent they are, how they support violence. And all this information is being handed over to law enforcement and the FBI, so that those agencies that are tasked with that investigate them and arrest them, charge and arrest them if necessary, because they are committing crimes on a daily basis. Nobody in our group is committing a crime. Nobody. So guys, Watchmen have been out now for 2 months. Not one crime, not one act of violence, not one. We profess peace. Marching Patriots, nothing but peace. But the Marching Patriots have been brought down from Facebook. They brought down. Good morning, Charlie. Charlie, I had an amazing time with you on Saturday. My God, guys, I'm not going to share Charlie's story because it's private, but you guys have to know that Charlie has this story. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, have him tell you the story about Denver when he first got there and what happened to him. I'm not going to share it. That's his story, but I was like, oh my God, like listening to this story. And I know, Charlie, you always know when you meet somebody who is a good person. And you always know somebody who needs a little bit of polishing, right? We all do, myself included. But the fact that we have come together, I do. I kick and murder puppies. Yes, I do. And elderly people. I asphyxiate elderly people too. So, shut up. But anyways, great story. If you ever get a chance to listen to him, I was like, oh my God, everything's going on in the fire. I just it was totally tuned into what he was saying. But Charlie, brother, I'm so happy that we're together, man. God put us together. I know that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I love being a part of the Watchmen. Watchmen have been so peaceful, guys. But you're going to have these people that are going to make these false accusations and these lies. That's why we're working hard up front to be the type of people that are always there talking to law enforcement, at the scene, before we get there, behind the scenes, talking to them and doing what we need to do to communicate. And sometimes they don't like that because a lot of times, obviously in Tonawanda, they want to portray us as being the aggressors, the agitators, the problem, right? So they don't like that we're proactive. They don't like that we're not just reactive. We're going out there in our community outreach. We're a positive group. The Marching Patriots, the same thing. Oh, they're white supremacists. No, we're not. We have every ethnicity that supports us, that drives by. The only reason we don't have more people of different descent, nationality, is because black people shame black people. So that outspoken minority, all my black friends that talk to me, they're like, Pete, I disagree with you, but I agree with you on all these points. But the overwhelming thing that happens in the black community, they say, Pete, I can't show up to one of those things. I can't do that. How horrible is that? How horrible is it that your family and your friends and your church and your community, if they saw you going to a patriotic parade, that you would have to fear everybody coming after you? That would suck to have to be that silent, right? And that just doesn't happen in the black community. It happens in the white community, every descent, right? No matter what nationality you are and you're white, it's going to happen. We see it, our family and friends all the time. Hispanic, the same thing. I can't come out. I agree with you. Most of my family and friends. And that's the bizarre part, guys, is that you have so many people of different ethnicities. They overwhelmingly support the patriotic movement. Overwhelmingly support it. Because they've all come from countries, their families have come from countries that they tried to escape what is happening here, what they're trying to do to us. And they're terrified. Benny and Lily came from Poland. They left Poland, I believe, in the 60s. It may have been the early 70s. I'm blessed to have gotten to know them. They came to both parades this weekend, guys. Both parades. They were in West Seneca marching, huge smiles on their face. Benny was there. And at the end, when I jump and we do USA, Benny was jumping. I don't even know how old he is, but it was beautiful to see him jumping. So don't tell me you can't jump. But at least put your hands up in the air. But they came from Poland, and Benny shared his stories with us last week, Tuesday, at Joe Palladino's house about what was happening in Poland before they escaped. Good morning, Cody. Good morning, Arlene. Good morning, Joe. And he said, Pete, right now, he says, America is worse than Poland ever was before I left. He said the amount of division, the amount of lies, the amount of attacks. He says it wasn't even that bad back then. He says politicians, at least back then, were getting arrested. He goes, politicians here commit outright crimes and they're not being even charged, much less investigated or arrested or, prosecuted and then found guilty. It's not happening. He said, it is terrible what is happening. And he goes, I pray. He goes, that's why we come to these parades. He says, I hope and pray that we can right the ship. And guys, organizations like Constitutional Coalition, they've been fighting this for years. Russ Thompson. Restore Constitutional Freedom to New York is another group. The Libertarian, Erie County Libertarian Party is another one that they have been fighting very, very, very hard. Take a look into some of these groups and join them. And the differences that we have, Constitutional Coalition of New York, I said that, but 1791 Society, there's inherent differences and not everybody agrees. And I haven't had enough. I trust the people who give me the information about 1791 Society, and I trust them, the information that they give me about Tom Bauerle and other things and things that have happened. I trust them. I trust these people. And the things that these people have done to other people that I know, it's unacceptable. It's not right. And I don't know what the motivation was behind members of 1791 Society doing things to individuals that I know and that are family to me now. I don't know why, but the way they're described to me, there's really no explanation for it, no justification for it. So I would like to have a conversation with Frank Panasuk, Tom Bauerle, and anybody else that's a part of 1791 Society and leadership that has done these things. Why they have supported candidates that don't support the Constitution, freedoms, and liberties. Maybe it's just haphazard. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But 1791 Society has a huge influence in the community. And 1791 Society wasn't shut down. Cuomo hates that page. But 1791 Society hasn't been, and they do things that are far more incendiary, and volatile than our groups ever did. Certainly the Marching Patriots. The Marching Patriots never really posted anything. But 1791 Society doesn't get brought down. Why is that? It could be because they operate intelligently. And they need to, and they know that they need to have the leftists on their side as well. In that case, I applaud that, because that's strategy right there. We all think that we have to avoid the leftists and the Marxists, but having those people on your side sometimes helps, right? Having all that law enforcement on your side, or the certain DAs that are on your side, or certain politicians that are on your side that are very influential. Even if they are rhinos, they offer some layer of protection, right? Layer of protection that we don't yet enjoy or get to have or have extended to us. And I'm not saying we want to do that, because I can't do that. And I know most of you guys couldn't do that. I know you could get up and look yourselves in the eyes in the morning in the mirror and say, yeah, no, that would suck. But I think that we can strategize to figure out how to do that. Yeah, I believe that, Charlie. That sucks. Yeah, well, that's it. That explains it, the Marching Patriots. So anything with the word patriot in it, the algorithm for Facebook automatically brought it down. So we can sue, though, guys. It's absolutely a stone cold fact. You can't sue Facebook, but you can sue the fact checkers and those companies that are doing the fact checking. So get an attorney. We're trying to assemble a group of constitutional attorneys. We're trying to do that. And just so you guys know, behind the scenes right now, I am working on that. Working on getting attorneys that I know to start this collective so that they can not only protect our groups against tyranny and fascism and totalitarianism, but individuals, anything that happens to us. Because right now, a lot of us, this is their MO. This is how they operate. They're going to attack. With lies, 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 lies. More lies and more lies and more lies. Just say the lie over and over and over and over again. If they say that you started the Holocaust, they're going to keep saying it over and over and over and over and over again. And if you're not a strong person, you're going to be like, oh my God, this sucks. I don't want to deal with this. And then you step down, and that's what they want to do at first. And then the second thing is they'll just keep selling it. They'll up the ante. But now we got a group of attorneys. Guess what? Now you're sued. It doesn't matter that you're in your mom's basement. You're still getting sued for libel. And that's also a criminal charge. I don't know if it ascends to a criminal charge, but there may be something attached to it that could be construed as a criminal charge. But that's the only way we take this back, guys. That's the only way we deter them from doing the things that are the way they operate. They have their whole strategy. They have their whole plan. We know it. Like, we know it. So anyways, I kind of got off on a tangent there. But these groups, all of these groups, Constitutional Coalition, politics and politicians and government agencies and lawyers have been weaponized against them, against their organization. Again, that's another deterrent. That's why we need attorneys. But we can't just be defensive. We have to attack. Attack, 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 attack. We have to attack them into oblivion, because that's their operation. Nobody has come back after them. Nobody's come after the National Guild of Lawyers. Nobody has come after these psychopaths and these sociopaths who are just so unhappy and miserable that are organizing domestic terror groups here, hate groups here. Our groups aren't filled with hate. You can watch my videos. You come out to any rally. We're up front. We don't wear masks. We're not wearing goggles and helmets and trying to obscure our identity. We're not telling people to bring soup cans. We're not telling people to buy tasers. We're not telling people to put 8 balls. This is another one, guys. We just found this one out. Telling people to put 8 balls in crocheted yarn. We're not doing that. You guys are. We're not telling people to bring golf clubs as sign holders to events so that you can protect yourself. We're not telling people to bring pepper spray and bear spray. We're not telling people to fill up water bottles and freeze them so you can throw them. We're not telling people to fill those bottles up with whatever substances. We're not doing that. None of our people have that stuff. We're not telling people to use flagpoles as weapons. We're not telling people to have skateboards so that they can beat somebody over the head with it as officers stand and watch and don't arrest anyone. We're not the ones that are telling people to carry this certain type of ball peen hammer that you could smash windows very effectively with it. We're not the ones doing that. We're also not the ones that are going out in the community, terrorizing communities, sieging, putting communities and neighborhoods under siege. We're not doing that. We're not. Show me one instance where we did that. What is our Chili Fest dangerous and threatening because we're gathering? We got a gathering of 50, 60, 70-year-olds and children. That's a threat. You wait till you hear that. I'm sure that'll be coming, right? That's why we document everything. That's why we chronicle everything. That's why we are making friends with more and more radio stations. That's why we are befriending. We know the tactics. We know how to engage in this. We just haven't. We haven't been organized. Now that we are organized, we have some hiccups. We have some slip-ups. We learn from them. And once we learn from them, these people in these groups, guys, it's giving me chills right now. The commitment, the level of dedication, the tenacity, the brilliance, how smart they are. It's just unbelievable. And then how everybody works together as one, unified. It's a beautiful orchestra of collaboration that is so effective and productive. And we have missteps. We all get burned out, but when we get burned out, we're like, dude, I got you. Don't even worry about it. I got you. Or, hon, I got you. Don't worry about it. Take a couple of days off. Take the time that you need. But every single person that takes that time that they need, boom, they don't even usually take a couple hours. They're like, oh yeah, you got my back. That's okay. Reach around, hug me tight. Let's go have a beer. Let's go eat some chili together. Let's go not fall in the bonfire together. Let's pick up the phone and have a conversation. Lisa's on right now. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Joe. Lisa fights so hard, with everything that she does. And guys, I want to mention Diana Hope. And that's, Diana Hope is unbelievable. And she doesn't get near enough recognition that she needs to. She operates Free NYS on Facebook, and she has over 20,000 people. Now, she puts posts on there every day that are relevant to her, that she grew that page. And that page, the reason that page is important is because it has connected and networked so many people. But Diana, with everything that she does, she has to homeschool her daughter, and she has to work, and she does everything. But she helps myself and Jill Wilsey to operate and run Rally WNY. So every post that you guys see in Rally WNY, and if you guys can, invite more people to that page, because Rally WNY is that centralized page for all events and rallies. And we have our groups, our intelligence collection groups that find all these other rallies. We're not posting Antifa rallies, but you know, we know where to go for our rallies, and we put that stuff up there the best that we can, the ones that we feel you guys are going to be interested in partaking in. If you don't know how to use it, guys, the body, we have all of the posts in there, and sometimes they go out of chronological order. The way Facebook works is really goofy. We also have those events posted in the announcements tab. So every post that comes through, Diana marks it as an announcement. So you can look in the announcements tab. Announcements, unfortunately, in Facebook is also not chronological, but what you can do is go to the events tab. And when you go to the events tab in Rally WNY, it'll show everything chronologically. What is today? What is tomorrow? What is this week? I think you can even look back. There's a tab there that you can look back on which events we've done. But a very important page. Freedom Fighters is also a very important page, guys. And I know there are multiple pages that do the same thing, but you can go to both. Rally WNY was a closed group. We decided to do that just to make sure we were keeping the riffraff out. And this is how good Diana is. Diana found 2 members of Antifa in Rally WNY. And she's like, you're out. So just unbelievable. And, you know, Freedom Fighters, what they do over there, what Gina Gentry does on that page, is she shares a lot of the political stuff. We also share the political stuff in Rally WNY, but Freedom Fighters they are more targeted. And guys, that is the really important part. For Rally WNY, as important as that element is, Freedom Fighters is really where the meat and potatoes are, and the the rubber meets the road, and every other cliche you want to talk about. They're the ones that are they're speaking directly to the candidates. They're speaking directly to campaign managers. They're speaking directly to Republican Party, Conservative Party, Libertarian Party, Jim Ostrowski, Nancy Orticelli and Nick Orticelli, who are geniuses on this stuff. They know how to operate this. Stefan Mihailu, Russ Thompson, David DiPietro. They are in direct communication with those people. Those people that are vital and critical and instrumental resources to building the fight and doing what we're going to do and doing what they are doing. Freedom Fighters, guys, make no mistake, that is probably the most important element of everything that is going on. And I cannot thank those women enough and those men enough for what they do each and every day, because they are going out. Gay is going out today, and she's doing another 600 houses. Gina has done who knows how many houses. And the Orticellis, who knows how many houses. Joe Pabilski, Mary, Jen, I say all the names, Starla, all the people that are going out every day and helping and doing that stuff. Freedom Fighters, guys, it's an open page. Feel free to join it, and you'll see everything that's going to happen. You're protected. Antifa and Black Lives Matter and Surge and Western New York Liberation Collective, they're not going to bother you doing lit drops. They may follow you, and they may come behind you, and there have been instances of that, but they're too focused. And if we see that, we can contact law enforcement right away. Law enforcement, guys, believe it or not, is whatever happened in Tonawanda, law enforcement has our back. And they have our back because a lot of our members in all these groups are ex-law enforcement. A lot of these members of our groups have family, direct family and friends that are lieutenants, sergeants, chiefs, patrolmen, officers, detectives. We have those people in each one of these departments. Do you really think they're going to hate us? So we have people in these positions that we know, and we're only building that level of information. We're collecting it all in our database. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Kim. We're collecting it all, and we're organizing it by every officer, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, chief in every town with their numbers. So in some cases, personal numbers, so that we can reach out to them anytime that we need them. And they have told us that. It's not like we're like, oh, please, can we use you? They're like, dude, if you need anything at all, doesn't matter what it is, you call me. That's the level of family that's being created, guys. That is what this organization, that's how organized we're getting, and that's how quickly it's being organized. You know, we need to tear apart. Big hug, brother. Big hug, brother. Love it. Good morning, Dino. Great seeing you, buddy. We need all of this to work together to bring it down, to tear it apart. These people aren't as big as you think they are. They're not. There are a handful of individuals in key positions that are the leftist Marxists that we can get out of those positions lawfully, legally, using the election process, using the laws that are on the books, election fraud, abuse of power, corruption, all of those things. But we need those attorneys. Have those attorneys reach out to me, guys. I know those attorneys are out there that want to fight this, that they're fed up. They're like, F this, screw this. Yeah, I'm a member of the New York State Bar Association, but I'm not going along with this. I'm not going to do anything to compromise, my ability to perform as a lawyer and attorney. But behind the scenes, I can do this. And if somebody has broken the law, I can go after them. That's their right. Good morning, Sharon. Great to see you. Guys, a lot of information that I put out, but I do know it's getting long. And I love seeing your faces, but it's a very busy day. 10:30 this morning, Jim Ostrowski, he's an attorney. Look him up. Extremely credible. He's written several books, been very active in the conservative movement and, taking back what has been stolen from us. He has worked just tirelessly on it. He informed us and Dwayne Whitmer of the Erie County Libertarian Party, who Dwayne is buttoned up, guys. Dwayne is not going to put anything out there that is not valid or legit. They became aware of the National Guard arriving today. Now, I know it's raining, and I know it's kind of raining hard, but there's showers. I'm not taking a shower with any of you. No, you got to go back to your own house for a shower. All right, Charlie, maybe I'll shower. No, I'm not showering with you, Charlie. Get out of here. You got a beautiful place anyways and a beautiful shower. You go back there and shower. But we stand out there for an hour, half hour, 45 minutes, whatever you can. Bring your raincoat, bring your umbrella. Guys, this is a call to action. This is very serious. National Guard is being flown in to, Buffalo Niagara International Airport right here around the corner from me. They're being flown in today, and the reason they're being flown in, I got some clarification on this. It's to enforce the quarantine. What is the quarantine exactly? Does the quarantine mean that they're, if people come from out of the area, and they fly back in, that they're assisting with TSA agents? Does that what that means? I guess we're going to find out. But guys, quarantining is illegal. It is unconstitutional. Them tracking you is illegal. It is unconstitutional. That is not in anywhere in the fabric of anything that is even remotely defensible. Supreme Court would rule against that in a heartbeat. Any Supreme Court in any state would rule against that in a heartbeat. Any district court would rule against that in a heartbeat. Yet they have National Guardsmen coming in at the request of Cuomo to come into our town to enforce quarantine. What does that mean? They're going to be setting up and posting up all throughout Erie County. Well, we've already seen how easy it is to shut the county down, right? We've seen that. The main arteries in each town, we've seen them shut it down in the wintertime. We've seen how the law enforcement has shut it down. It's funny because law enforcement in certain towns, they could shut down the town and the throughways so that we can't go out, civilians can't go out, but they can't shut it down for Antifa and Black Lives Matter and terrorist organizations. Which again tells you They're instructed to stand down. And why are they instructed to stand down? And by whose order are they being told to stand down? We know. We're getting this information. And once we get our team of attorneys assembled, we will start handing that information off to them and figuring out what it is that we can do. We do have tools and vehicles and mechanisms in place right now that we can utilize against these people. And we're starting to organize that end of things. That needs a little bit development yet, but we do have those mechanisms in place already that we can utilize and that are being utilized all across the country. Well, Pete, what are those? Oaths and bonds. Every single public official is required to be bonded and have an oath. If they do not, everything that their seat, their position, that law enforcement, whatever it is, government agency, is vacant. And everything that they have done, while they have not been bonded or under oath, is null and void. Facts. Stone cold facts. We're assembling and developing that group right now so that we can actively go out into every single community and ensure that every single one of our public officers, our government agents, are under oath and bonded. That is the vehicle and mechanism that we can use at this point. Once we get the attorneys assembled, we can utilize them for any crimes or civil issues that are there that we can sue these people. Very, very important part of everything that we're doing, guys. That is an extremely important part, and it is in development right now. So you gotta, be encouraged about that. But the quarantining today, 10:30 in front of the airport. I will be there standing arm in arm with Jim Ostrowski. I hope he's there. I will be there with Dwayne Whitmer standing arm in arm. I don't care how wet I get. Like I said, I got the warm shower afterwards. What does this mean? And where does it go? We already know the numbers have come down. What justification do they have for bringing National Guardsmen in? Well, here's what the strategy is. They've already floated out there to see how compliant people will be with all of these orders, these Stalin-esque orders. Will they not attend funerals? Will they not go to church? Will they not visit their families? Will they allow us to kill their families? Will we keep them in their homes? Will they keep them out of school? Will they wear masks? Guys, they've already conditioned you into compliance. They've already tested you in what your level of compliance will be. The next level now, obviously, because our numbers are so low, death rates, we haven't had a death in Erie County that is caused singularly by COVID because we have dozens of treatments. There are dozens of treatments in all the hospitals right now. If you aren't being afforded or offered those treatments, that is negligence. And you as a family member should be suing the hell out of the physician, out of the healthcare group, out of that hospital. You should be suing because they exist. 4 months, you don't know how long it's been, nobody has died. Case counts are way down. But yet they're bringing in the National Guard. Pete, why are they bringing in the National Guard? They're testing, just like they tested with everything else. Well, Pete, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? How many times has Cuomo said that he wants our state to be the first state with 100% compliance on vaccinations? How many times have you heard him say that? Dozens. Wouldn't it be great, he says, wouldn't it be great if we were the first state that had 100% compliance with vaccinations? Well, who do you think is going to issue all those vaccinations, guys? It's going to start with schools, right? But a lot of people aren't having their kids educated in schools anymore. So there's that whole percentage of people that are out of the fray right now. Well, we're going to do it through businesses. They're going to do... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, Joe. They're going to do it with the businesses. They're going to force businesses or think it's not even a law. They know they can't enforce this. They're just going to use all the same things that they did with the masks. They've already learned. They've conditioned us. They've done the test run. They're going to use insurance companies, your medical insurance. They're going to use your doctor's offices. And then all the rest of the people that aren't accounted for, with the vaccinations, in steps the National Guard. And they're going to do it in a way that it's going to be like, hey, it's going to seem extremely innocent. It's going to seem, completely harmless. They're going to be set up. And they're going to be like, come on in, get your free vaccine, get your free vaccine, get your free vaccine. In a vaccine where any other vaccine that we get except for the flu vaccine, right? And now all other vaccines, magically, these vaccinations used to be once and then you're done. But now magically, you got to get reboosters, when you're a kid, and now you should get them more as an adult. Why? Why? But that's a whole other conversation. So National Guard steps in that way, and you go, Pete, there's no way the National Guard would execute that. There's no way they can do it, Pete. They don't know us all. There's hundreds of thousands of us or millions of us that aren't going to get that. They're not going to get that. What just happened this year? What just happened? Did you get a knock on your door? I know I have. Probably about 24 times I got knocks on my door. Elections. We're just looking for some information from you guys. And that's constitutionally, guys, the elections are utilized to make sure where the funding goes federally. So it's legal. It's not that it's illegal, but really convenient, isn't it? Board of Elections. Sending you the information, who lives in your house. Give us, they know your name. I don't know if I don't think we have to give the other residents names. Maybe they actually, I think on the form they do. So now they have an accurate and up-to-date ledger of every single one of us. All of us. I've never, ever, in all the years that I've lived here, now the Board of Elections, it happens every 10 years. But when I lived in Orchard Park, not one knock on the door. Not one. At least 24 knocks on the door this year. I think I had 5 different people show up to my house. I said, they just did this, like yesterday. And they were way cuter than you, dude. So and I'm like, so now guess what? They got us. Now National Guard, they have everybody, right? They know, and you guys don't think that they can do it. It's less than 1 million people. You know how easy it is to input that information and data with the computers they have? I mean, conspiracy, yes, this is not valid, guys. I'm not saying that this is absolute. Not saying this. I'm throwing conjecture out there. I'm throwing, okay, this is how they've operated. This is what they've done to us. This is how they've executed what they've done. How are they going to apply what they've done to us at this point to what they're looking to achieve? And what are they looking to achieve? 100% compliance with vaccinations. Why? We have dozens, not treatments, cures. We have dozens of preventatives. It's not an issue. COVID is a non-issue. Why do you want all those vaccinations? And then you guys listen to Bill Gates and what he said. Not my words, so this is not conspiracy. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates said, yeah, he does. He absolutely does. That's this guy, a super patriot. I do love the sound of my own voice. Shut up, it's my life, Charlie. Go tell your own damn story. So you just take a look at everything that they've done. You hear what Cuomo was saying, 100% compliance, and you connect the dots, guys. And then let us in. Let us in. It's going to start with the small knock. Hey, we just, we're looking for you. And Cuomo, you think for a second Cuomo's not going to do that? Do you think I know the phone dropped, right? That was hilarious. I beat the dresser too hard. You think for a second that They're not going to do that? Ask any small business owner and restaurant owner right now how they're being treated. Gangs of 5 going around when they're there alone, looking to steal their videotape or shut their businesses down. Don't think for a second that they can't do it, guys. Being over there at the airport right now, today, guys, is extremely important. I don't care that it's raining. I will be there. I will be there from beginning to end, 10:30. We need to call attention to this. Guys, if you're not a member of the Watchmen, join that. It's on Wimkin, WIMKIN. Friend me. Send a notification that you want to become a part of the Watchmen. The reason you have to do that is every single person that comes into our organization is vetted and screened thoroughly. We have a whole policy and protocol that we have developed in order to get everybody screened, so to ensure that the group, the sanctity of the group stays intact, that nobody can undermine it. And we're always observing members, always observing one another, to make sure we're holding one another accountable, so that we're all adhering to the objectives and the directives of the group, the mission of the group. It's very important to become a part of that group, guys. We need bodies. And there are several trainings that take place. You come to a meeting. I'm not going to get into detail into the trainings, but guys, joining it is going to make you feel incredible. The Marching Patriots on MeWe. Also, Watchmen are on Facebook. You can find that. You can also find them, Google search them, and you'll be able to find them that way. And it's Watchmen-New York. The Marching Patriots, guys. We are on MeWe, MEWE. Add the app. Let those two be the only, and Wimkin and MeWe, let those be, you'll get notifications, but let those two groups be the only groups that you use for now so that you can find out about them. Freedom Fighters, you can join that stuff and you can do that. But join those things, guys. Become a part of everything that we're doing. We need help. We need numbers and we need bodies. Breathe Free New York. So there's several events that are going to take place this week with the Watchmen. Marching Patriots are going to be in Batavia this weekend. It's going to be 3 p.m. Join us out there. Big one, because we only have a couple of weeks, guys, before elections. Freedom Fighters with Gay Thompson, a ton of lit drops. I'll be helping Gay to do her lit drops. She's doing like 600 today by herself. Breathe Free New York. I gave some wrong information. Critchen Restaurant. CRITCEN. Critchen, New York, Critchen Restaurant on Clinton in West Seneca. It's right off of Union, guys. Please, if you want to go, join Breathe Free New York. Ask to be invited to it. That page is on Facebook still, okay? And then you can also message me. And message me, RSVP me. Right now, I think we have about 15 people. We're creating our text message list so that we could just text you guys, get those alerts out to you to be able to go to these restaurants with us and support them. That is at 6 p.m. tomorrow, all right? Those are all the events that I have that are going on right now. Excuse me, yes, Scott, thank you so much. Scott, guys, Rolling Patriots, that is another group. I'm going to work with Scott and I'm going to work with John Graff. And we're going to get a Facebook page. We'll probably on the Facebook page have to do something other than Patriots, because Charlie just let us know that anything with the word Patriots in it, Facebook is trolling and they're eliminating it immediately. So we'll create another name. We'll let it be known as Rolling Patriots, but we'll come up with another cool name that is a little bit more obscure and won't be shut down. But guys, join them. Just so you guys know, I don't know where they're going to be. Scott, if you can post that right now. Oh, perfect. Scott is going to be in Batavia with us. Yes! And those guys, usually the Rolling Patriots, they do their events at 1:30. So it works perfectly. They go do their thing, and they usually start at a restaurant. Then they're going to come and join the Marching Patriots. They'll either march with us or roll with us. And then afterwards, those guys finish back up at the restaurant. Some of them start a little bit early. That's all right. It's a Saturday. You should start a little bit early drinking. But they end up going back. So just organically and naturally, they're going back to the restaurant. And they've been supporting local veteran-owned Patriot, warrior, freedom fighter restaurants. So they go back there and they support them. So guys, Joe Kanaski is amazing. Joe Kanaski did it. And so those guys, I think Charlie too, what are you doing? Keeping Joe up that late, you jerk. And Segules, Desiree, and Mike, they were I'm sure Cliff was still there too, and Heather was there. Well, like 1:30 in the morning, they were out on Saturday night. But it's such a good time. Like, it just feels so good. I'm sure I know Nick was there. I know Nick Orticelli was there. I think Nick and Charlie had a moment of bonding. They were like, oh, I like this guy. This guy is really cool. It was special to see. Anyways, such a good time. But Joe Kanaski's so generous. And, and he brought everybody back yesterday. Now, I wanted to be able to come, but I had a nurture appointment that I needed to be at, and I couldn't make it. But he did it again. Like, he had all the soup and all the food, and I just love going. So, Joe, I wanted to thank you so much, Joe, for everything that you're doing. So, guys, just know this. If ever we do a march, Joe is probably always going to invite us back. Even if there's snow out there, you just got to take your shoes off if you go in the house. And you got to be able to do some pull-ups too. Desiree's going to beat you because she's a badass. But anyways, that's everything I have. But Rolling Patriots, thank you so much, Scott. And that's a great addition. That is such a huge addition. Nancy, Nick talking about, and myself talking about getting all of these groups networked together. It is coming together where we're all coming together, and those group and team building events that Joe runs, us just naturally coming together and going, oh, hey, that's who you are. It's a beautiful thing. 10:30, guys. If you can make it, bring that umbrella. Bring me an umbrella. I want an umbrella. No, I don't. Screw that umbrella. I got no sense, no feeling, right? No brain, no pain. So you guys have a great day. It was awesome seeing you. I hope I see you today. And I really, really, really hope I see you tomorrow at Breathe Free New York. There's fun events. Critchen has been a patriot from the very beginning. He can share his story. And Critchen is also going to host some other things that we're going to do. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want them to be targeted. But Critchen is a great restaurant. So, a supporter of the freedom movement. I love you guys. Enjoy your day and hope to see you soon. At least we're going to give a group hug. We can all do a group hug. We can cuddle and huddle when it's raining today. So I'll see you guys. Love you. Bye.